impossible to speak about any kind of healing without speaking about inner child ancestral patterns and releasing and recognizing patterns. It is an impossible task. Why do we indefinitely speak about these things during this Great Awakening time period? Um, it's really, we have a personal responsibility. If life, the purpose of life, this is common sense information, wisdom that we gather, going through your own inner child healing, recognizing patterns and releasing them, because in order for us to create any kind of substantial, meaningful healing, it is really uh, n- not an optional factor. Uh, Looking at your own self, doing mirror work, doing shadow work, this is the normal way of doing things. Now, let's see how well we can deliver these thoughts and these lessons with comparison some of the examples, common sense, practical, logical thing. One thing we really need to address is in order for us to recognize the spiritual warfare, know anything about spiritual warfare, is non-optional factor is we need to come to terms with information warfare. So this is the way we navigate, because we have a little bit of awareness, because we are in tune with the energetic frequencies and how and the purpose of our human species regarding growth. And one of the perfect example I can come up with, the external factors, they have goals, they have projection, they have deadlines, they are continuously taking data. So this is the normal way that we are functioning in these societies throughout the world. And one thing we have to uh, recognize, while they're doing that, they are trying to, common sense is isolating problems. If you go to any kind of a doctor, any kind of uh, buying a land, or regardless what we do, we have to isolate, we have to um, sort of go to the source. Now, if any external systems are set up to gather information, doing collecting data throughout the humanity all across the world, they have sections, and we have to know how to navigate this information. It is really vital for our humanity's progression. And the perfect example I can come up with is like a car, buying a car. You know, when you have a car, they have a different levels of speed. We are never using the limits and the space, the speed. We have a set speed limits there to protect the people, and how we proceed with caution, because we have these things and limitations set up. So just like in our social structure, we have low income regions, we have middle income regions, we have high income regions. Uh, what does that exactly means? Like, for example, if you're going into a low income or middle income region, like, do they not have anything to survive? Absolutely not. They are very lush environments, and you have a lot of support from the environment, less programming, less like micromanaging, uh, because they have systems set up so that we can work on some of these interpersonal skills, like the teamwork, like the working towards creating boundaries and self-worth and dialogue expression. All of these things, it seemed to be the most uh, highlighted areas of our existence, uh, while creating extremely vibrant style of life. We see these things, especially last few years, with having everyone have access to the social media. We can see how lush these areas are. So um, when we look at things this way, navigating information, uh, you're able to navigate with much confidence, and be comfortable following your intuition, your gut feeling. So this is how we proceed, and is highlighted this way. And then the open borders and mass migration. So it doesn't really take a lot of effort to figure out the uh, ruling authorities throughout our world is the same agents. They are the monitoring group. They are the one who uh, uh, put up or set up systems so that it's very obvious educated guess is an experiment for the humanity. Another area, this is like the science, the blood types that people throughout the world, we have very few blood types, so the humanity, but we have created the separation and division and bickering about uh, who belongs where. And the public persona, somebody will come and say, I'm not belong anywhere. So I had to create my own box. And when you're in tune with the energetic frequencies, you will immediately say, what do you mean you need to create another box? Why can't you just be a human beings and work from there? And why do we always need to narrow things down to fit into a box? Because like that car with very fast speed, and some things that we will never know. And if someone is really into experimenting the level of speed, they have places for them to go, and some kind of a track, so you can go for a drive and have some kind of experience there. Just like that, human beings are put into a category, and it does not mean that we don't have the capacity for greater knowledge, expansion of thinking, and create wisdom, and towards the enlightened state, or reasonably learn to find the frequencies of love and joy, compassion and kindness. We get to experience throughout our life, we get to experience all of these layers of our existence, our responsibilities. The Mother Gaia is like, if we are supposed to grow, like if we go into a rainforest, cut down a whole bunch of trees in the middle, and when nobody's looking, it does not mean it's not going to go unnoticed. It's going to have a huge impact in our ecosystem. So it's not any different for the humanity. Just because people don't notice, just because we don't add value, just because we don't recognize, just because we don't put importance, it does not means unhealed trauma bodies doesn't have consequences. So this is why the external world is literally trying to isolate problematic agents, unhealed trauma bodies, and literally control your mobility, put into a place, perhaps then we will get the message and try to go internal and work through some of the things that we need to release. Uh, in order for us to know anything about the spiritual warfare, we need to have, just like the car that I was speaking about. You know, when you have a really nice car, the shock factor, like it doesn't really uh, have any kind of impact. You're driving in your streets and highways, you go rather smoothly. Do you remember these things when you were younger? You have like this second hand, the very old cars and run down, and shock factor is like you're moving all over the place, a bit scary, especially windy days. So there is a difference, a capacity to absorb a kind of shock and a kind of information warfare. It's get uh, much more space for you to absorb some of the shock factor, because we are familiar, because we get the space by releasing our own trauma bodies, recognizing the patterns and releasing them. So this is why it is really vital for us to grow, um, using our purpose, our get in tune with which way we're going to have meaningful growth into the light body, or we are going to get pulled down by the gravity of darkness. And let's see how well we can put that into an example. My hair is always going on my face, distracting. Oh well, gotta work with what we got. So there's no products in here. Um, anyways, getting back to the examples. Now we in our social structure, when we are doing things that's needed to be done, like when we are choosing the employment, going through this education program process, and trying to find a comfort, most comfortable, most recognized and important stuff. So we have to invest a lot of time in school to get some kind of programs that is the external world, the social structure have provided for us, so that anybody have these opportunities. Because uh, we are really looking internal, we are getting programs, and we are looking for a validation from the external. We're looking for the recognition. We are looking for a little bit of stardust, because the more high profile, according to the system, you become, you think this is the most comfortable position. But when we are learning about frequencies and healing and releasing, we know the difference. When I was in school, I was struggling. I knew that that few minutes work in the office gig wasn't working for me. But there was a capacity for you to go all the way in and make a substantial living and find nicer jobs. But because you're unhealed trauma body, you just have to do what needs to be done. So you find something, some sort of a service in healthcare, visiting home visits, This is a kind of access it requires for you to learn about complicated human situations. This is why you need to put time in. This is what I did. So it's hundreds and hundreds, thousands even, home visits and a lot of details, and learn about what is this human gig is all about. So although it's not the most glamorous job, this is the most eye-opening experiences that one can gain. It is required social structures to function. We have to also do things that's needed to be done. Throughout this process, you learn about your own weaknesses, your own strength, things that is no longer needed, like the emotional baggage, and you're able to release them such a way that is really substantial, and you're going to towards the growth and long lasting awareness, connection, and building foundation. So this is how I process information. Now, the essential workforce is really, when we really think about it, we sometimes people could be like a bit envious and sort of stressed because it's a burden of physical burden, mental burden, and dealing, especially in the public service sector, whether it's healthcare or the all these other food and all the industries that we have, um, but they are needed to function our society. Now, when we do say these things, when we navigating, or we are sort of maybe a little bit uh, yucky about the social structure, it's really, is it because we want everything to fail and just go, everything become like a chaotic nightmare? Absolutely not. Within the system, it is a greatest opportunity for us to empower ourselves by looking for a meaningful uh, meaningful navigation, learning about the information warfare, how important for us to navigate it towards the growth instead of getting pulled down into the darkness. So this is the purpose we have all these things set up. When we see the public figures we have, like we are I know we're really uh, bickering at each other and yelling and say what a horrible people and systems they're promoting. But when we are sitting back and navigating the information warfare, we know these people are also sacrificing a lot. So the essential workforce is not really in the line of fire, right? We're taking orders, we are following instructions, we are running businesses, we are doing what needs to be done, but the gatekeeping agents are taking the hit, and they are the one who is in a decision making place. But then we also hear about the Human Rights Tribunal, and the balance and the corruption and all kinds of things happening in the background and parallel to essential workforce. So then these people are accountable for these decision making. So it's not really when things get confronted, things aren't all that glamorous. But when we collectively, oh, I am doing my job, oh, I am following orders, oh, I am just carrying out business model. When we say these things without conscious effort, consciously deciding, this is where we are ignoring the growth of humanity. We're exploiting because we know that spiritual warfare is a real thing. We know that money isn't, uh, it's just there as a tool, but it's not the end of the world, because it really doesn't matter when it comes to the um, control infrastructure or institutions. When it comes to money, it's like they're the one who is in charge of it. They have a space for all kinds of ways to have an enormous level of monetary things, but the real cause, real value is your well-being, energy siphoning, uh, putting you through into a humiliation rituals. So this is how we keep eye on the spiritual warfare and navigate. And if money was an issue, it was a factor, is the most important thing. They're not looking to depopulate and destroy and break things down and rebuilding indefinitely, because there is really it doesn't make any difference for the governing system. It is all about the experimenting on humans, giving us an opportunity to perfect ourselves, um, and learn to heal our inner child traumas and ancestral line, and work on our shadows, dark self, and um, growth, and any kind of healthy ecosystem needs to go through these things. And when we're looking at the information warfare into the external world, when we have a different circumstances, a lot of exploitation, a lot of hurting, a lot of abusing, a lot of gaslighting, manipulating, it is something that need to be perfected. So we aren't really taking things personally. Instead, we're going internal and trying to work things out, towards the long-lasting, healthy existence in this ecosystem. So this is why important for us to do this inner work. The purpose of inner work is when we do release and recognize patterns and release, and not taking the experiences, we don't get involved, um, involved and suffer silently. We just look at the things objectively, and then we're able to release it. So this is how we get the get the energetic space for the shock wave, so that, like the car, we have enough space to absorb what is happening. If we're always navigating life shallow, meaning uh, we're following the external models, even the fashion. We know we don't have a personal style. We have to follow somebody else's trend. We have the toxic femininity. We are not stepping into our feminine, the power of femininity, because we are saying we're talking about the women empowerment, but we are doing plastic surgeries because we are afraid of aging or wrinkles, or we can't put our face in public. And we've gone through this before, like you can't even go out because you just want to hide yourself, and you have to put makeup in your face and hide yourself so that you have a persona in the public. But this is not the real growth. This is not the women empowerment. If you're going to spend your easy grants, easy money, bucks, doing plastic surgeries, that's really not a empowerment. It's nothing equal or empowerment position there. It's nothing to look up to, but it's a free system. It's a free society. We are all entitled to go through our journey, but we need to come to terms with going internal and looking inside of us, what makes us like a science project instead of a human beings, because we are uncomfortable facing our own um, inner conflicts, insecurities, lack of awareness. And this is why information warfare is something we have to muster up the courage to face, because every time there is information doesn't mean it's going to um, help you to heal. It's not really, nothing is ever waste, but the time, we have a limited time. So it's important to get these things down, and it's a personal responsibility. Environmentally friendly really means you're growing, you're not disintegrating slowly over time, because we haven't done our inner work. So we have to the healthy, vital environment of humanity is your extension of the nature. For example, you see, especially when you go to the grocery stores, these mature, like the people that's like to cook, you can immediately tell they are trying to smell everything, feel it and touch it and put it back and pick it again. This is what we observe in the our infrastructure inside within our roles that we're playing, because we have that inherent uh, cravings for to find the most vital, vibrant things. And if you see, if I send the somebody that shall not be named to the store, you just get the first box in there or a bag, and it's got all rotten apples in the middle. But it's, you have to teach these people who are unsuspecting, this is how you pick the vibrant, most vibrant product. So it's really important for us to pay attention to these little details. And another example, like social structure, we have these personas, like we are in this group category, we're into the lower the safety, the law enforcement agents, officers. You see them, and they are united front to the public, but what's really happening is there is a wisdom that need to be, for example, when we have these interaction through our employment, I mean, we never disclose any kind of confidentiality, right? But the experiences are always there. Someone say to me, wow, with a very hard exterior, just never want to open up any kind of dialogue, but it takes time, long time. Once they know, I just want to never mind speaking about myself, but I have an opinion. This elderly or a gentleman that used to work in law enforcement would be like, hey, I worked 35 years on the forces before I left, and nobody ever called, followed up with me, check, phone call, visit, absolutely nothing. And I spent all these 30 something years. It's really hurtful. But then again, when we were young and vibrant, full force working, we never bothered doing that to the others. We never made that phone call. We never did that engagement. We never visited. This is how it's upsetting, but we have to know we have never made these meaningful connections. When you say these things, it's really a teary eye. The family's all gone. They pack up and gone because you spend a very long time working and following things, doing that things that needs to be done, but it doesn't mean that you can come home and to an empty house. Everybody else has gone, moved on. You have a chair and a bed in your home. You have time to reflect, but it takes a very long time, even though they don't really have any kind of a medical condition. It is really depressing, disconnected, uh, sad state of being. Now you have to detox from all of that, just doing things, uh, following the instructions and doing things that needs to be done, and never learn how to work, how to take care of self inside of an employment. Your identity becomes different now. So these are experiences that we face in our everyday life, and this is why it's really important for us to create that space by healing and releasing and recognizing patterns, so that we will have enough space to absorb the shock wave. So when we have these great awakening situations, hopefully some kind of a disclosure, and so that we were we are able to face these things head on, and be stable, be grounded, be connected, and recognize this is what the growth is all about. So the other factor is, without these institutions, and these people are doing and taking the hit, even though they are in the governing place, they are in charge of systems. They are taking the gatekeepers, so they are also absorbing some kind of a shock. And but if everyone was um, doing the right thing, using morality, using integrity, stop exploiting humanity, the financially, spiritually, health, and vitality wise, then everything will become so much better. But we are also active participants in regarding these matters. For example, if we have heaven on earth, what would homeless be like? In my imagination, I would see like a beautiful building with a nice little fireplace with a basket of fruits and a bathroom and a place for the rest, and make some coffee or tea, sit in a couch and take that time for to process. But that would never happen in real life. We would go in there, destroy everything, graffiti on the wall, defecate everywhere, urinate everywhere, and also have some kind of altercations because everyone is bickering at each other. It would be an utter chaotic thing because we aren't refined enough. We don't have the shockwave absorption for our own personal responsibilities. We don't know what that is. We haven't figured out, are we growing or we get pulled down to the darkness? We haven't figured these things out. This is why I don't even feel anger or towards like the mean-spirited employer. Or when I used to work, I used to be like, oh man, why do I even have to speak to these people? It's driving me, uh, causing me a lot of stress. This is meaningless, this frustration, because complete change and chaotic thing. Everything works fine. They come and change the schedules, change everything. Is really frustrating. But what we come to realize is spiritual information warfare. The real cost, real currency is the energy siphoning, uh, uh, creating maximum stress within the role. So when we really recognize this, we kind of have that capacity for the compassion. We are like, without these things, we won't be able to create healthy boundaries, healthy self-respect. We will never gain that because we are in this predicament willingly. We think we don't have options, but we need to muster up the courage to protect our divine vessel, not put it through humiliation, but empowerment, because we are connected. We aren't operating fear-based. When you have the some kind of a pandemic, again, you say, hey, don't worry about it. If that's happened, we understand. The life also comes with death, and we know we're just going to be creating boundaries because we are self-aware. We know information warfare is a real thing. We know that scarcity is kind of frequencies when you're going down into the deep darkness. This is what the scarcity is. Otherwise, it would be hopefulness, a clarity, because you're participating on growth. This is the gift that we can give it to the Mother Gaia, because when we don't work on ourselves, releasing, healing, releasing, it really matters. It's got a consequences. It's got a 15-minute cities. It's got uh, things that's really going to isolate you, because you are now a problem. You are into the dying ecosystem, because we were busy taking information from the external world. We were trying to not live comfortably, not live vibrantly. We are causing ourselves a lot of stress and agony because we want to get a house, another one, and investment, and a cottage, and we create ourselves all these burdens and responsibilities. The light body is next to impossible, because we are weighed down, heavily suppressed and pulled down, and in extreme agony, because the external weight is also internal weight. There's no space for the shock absorption. And this is why we are repetitively speaking about releasing uh, toxicity that we have within ourselves. And this is the only way we can have some kind of substantial, meaningful healing. And when it's time for the great awakening, it's not some person come and tell you to great awakening, this is what needs to be done, because we navigated information warfare appropriately. We paid attention to details. We learned the wisdom, how to isolate the wisdom throughout chaotic information. And we learned that things don't really happen to us, they happen for us. And we are empowered, enlightened, and we are holding a frequency of love and joy. Then you can never be isolated into a place and be waiting for your turn for the expiry date. And this is why they have these plans, but we have a personal responsibility to navigate information warfare. Thank you.